Next on our podcast is Mr. Luke Kesei. He's the chairman of Ainabkoi Dairy Cooperatives. Karibu, welcome to this podcast. Introduce yourself in more detail and tell us more about your work at Ainabkoi Cooperative.
Thank you very much, Mary.
Yeah.
My name is Luke Kesei,
Uh-huh.
Chair, Ainabkoi Farmers Cooperative Society in Uasin Gishu County.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very old cooperative which was started in 1963 by about 300 farmers, really 375. But the membership has grown to about 3,200 now. And yeah.
And we are here because of feed and fodder, and feed is quite central to the dairy farmer. How are you providing your farmers with feed to maintain your milk production?
Okay. Over time, our farmers have produced their own feed to feed their livestock. But then we realized that when we leave fodder production to farmers entirely, the system of production may not meet our demand, because during dry season, we normally have about 4 months of some kind of short rains. So when rains go down, we have a shortage of fodder. So our milk drops by about 50%. So as a cooperative society, we had to undertake measures to ensure that farmers produce feed, and we supported them to produce fodder through establishment of things like napier grass, things like oat hay, which they plant. So we support them to produce that in their farms. And then what we give them, for example, support in terms of equipment and resources to buy the seed itself, can be recovered through check-off system from the milk.
Yes.
We also provide mixed rations because we have a feed mill within the cooperative. Check-off is the way to go for farmers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, of course, 4 months of dry season is pretty long for a dairy cooperative.
Yeah.
Is the work of farmers to producing their own feed sufficient, or is the cooperative having its own feed fodder strategy beyond supporting the farmers?
As a cooperative, we have developed a master plan to have our own fodder and feed strategy. This involves contracting farms and producing silage, which should be made available to farmers for collection on check-off system. We are making a plan to plant maize silage and napier grass silage, chopping it up, wrapping it up using silage bags, and then having it available at our feed distribution centers. We're going to establish, or we are in the process of establishing, what we call our feed aggregation centers, spread about across the cooperative area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the main challenges currently you facing, even as you plan to come up with this new strategy?
Yeah, the challenges are many, but the lead ones are one, financing. There is a big financing gap in the area of production. There is need for long-term finance on equipment to make the silage, that is production equipment. Number two, there is need to invest in technical capacity, access to management. There is also a problem in transportation and storage. We have problem with financing the farmers themselves, because if they have to acquire the feed, then it means they have to wait for a check-off system, which takes about 2 to 3 months to cover the entire volumes of feed that they take. So there is need for financing so that they can pay on check-off.
So during this first feed fodder contracting and investment action event, I understand that cooperatives are also making a contribution to support feed production. What has been the decision by Ainabkoi towards this agreed strategy?
Our estimate is that within the 4 months that we call the drought months, we should be able to have enough feed to feed those animals. And to be able to do that, we have to mobilize about Kenya shillings 8 million from our local resources. This involves, for example, retaining about 45 cents per liter of milk produced, raise 8 million Kenya shillings, and then top it up with other sources to be able to fund the activity.
Yes, and of course, working with many farmers is also not always easy. So are farmers agreeable to allow these funds to come from the funds that they have in the cooperatives?
Indeed, we've trained our farmers. Actually, our strength as Ainabkoi lies in the fact that our farmers are well sensitized. First, we took stock of all our farmers, we trained them, we split them into farmer field schools of about 50 farmers, and we have a very, very elaborate extension system where each farmer is reached through the farmer field schools. And then the decisions are made through that system. From the 50 farmers, we move on to the next lot and the next, and finally, it is tabled at the cooperative. We've already done that. And really, that is the decision of the farmers. It's not even the decision of the cooperative.
Clearly, they also understand the challenge that they normally face with the drought. So we now have a new entity, the Kenya Feed Fodder National Association.
Alliance.
How are you receiving that entity, and what role do you think it's going to play for you as a cooperative?
Actually, this is a godsend opportunity to meet stakeholders in the feed and fodder sector. We've always acted alone and we've always held out our hands in the dark. But now, through the alliance, we've been able to be connected with other stakeholders of similar minds. I think through the Feed and Fodder Alliance, we should be able to network with the others so that we can bridge this gap in financing, or in technology transfer, on issues of linkage to finance and many others.
Yes. So what's your appeal for this event?
My appeal for this event is that we all have our strengths and weaknesses. Let us use our strengths, together to build ourselves. Each one has something to contribute. And then the weaknesses will be wiped out by our strengths.
Excellent. That's a good place to end. Thank you very much for attending to this podcast. Thank you for the work that you're doing in Ainabkoi, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Okay, excellent. Yeah.